Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Omni viewer, and the trailer for Primal's third season has come out, and it's not what I expected, certainly. Now, if you haven't seen Primal, first of all, do not eat before watching it, but more importantly, brace yourself because it is as beautiful as it is brutal. And that's all I'll say if you haven't seen it. Now, if you have seen it, of course, you know what kind of show it is, and you know how it ends. And I'm going to be talking about spoilers from this point onward, of course, because I can't very well talk about the trailer for season 3 without getting into spoilers. But the way that the series ended had people wondering how could it continue. It seemed like a season 3 was inevitable, but what was it going to be about? Some suspected that the episode The Primal Theory that snuck into the second season might have been a clue. It had nothing to do with the rest of the show at all. And it was speculated that it was something of a backdoor pilot, not for a different show like a backdoor pilot usually is, but rather as a pitch for how a third season could go, being sort of an anthology series focusing on different ideas, different eras, different characters and creatures and what have you, that all sort of embrace this idea that's put forward in the episode. Others speculated, based on the ending, that a third season could potentially follow the offspring of Spear and Fang, because that's what we end on. We see that their legacy continues through their children, so maybe they could be the protagonists. Now that the trailer has dropped, we know who's going to be the focus, especially confirmed with all the other stuff that's come in. And the main character will be Zombie Spear. Like I said, I really did not see that coming, but apparently Spear, who dies at the end of season 2, has come back as one of these shambling undead. Now, I'm of two minds about this. My first reaction was that it goes completely against what the show has represented up to this point. To summarize it, I did a lengthier video about this a little while ago in conjunction with season 2, actually. But the quickest way I can summarize it is that Primal is about the laws of nature, and the closest thing it has to a conflict of good and evil is that anything natural is good, and that includes the kill or be killed rule. If you have to kill in order to survive, whether it's to eat or to get away from the thing that wants to eat you, then it's necessary. Killing itself is not evil in Primal, but something unnatural or that goes against the very laws of nature, that would be considered wrong and by extension evil. So Spear and Fang are allowed to kill as long as they can survive in doing so. The ape men kill for sport. Their killing is completely unnecessary and therefore it is wrong. And we can also see other things that defy nature in that regard. The way that Witch Coven reproduces, totally unnatural. And then, of course, we have the original primal zombie, the sauropod infected by that virus. By rights, the sauropod should be dead, but the virus forces it to stay alive until it finds a new host. So it's in this constant state of decay and agony, just wanting to pass this virus on to somebody else so it can finally know peace, basically. But well, because it's kept alive, it's an unnatural, horrifying thing that needs to be eliminated. So, making Spear a zombie, my first instinct is that it's completely going against the idea. A zombie, by its very nature, is unnatural, especially the kind of zombie we're talking about, which is a reanimated corpse. And that's what this version of Spear is going to be. So why would that choice be made? This is not a show that was just made up as it went along or that had no thought put into it. Gendy Tartakovsky and his crew, when they were putting Primal together, they knew what they were doing. They were bringing their A game to every single frame of this thing. So I'm pretty sure those themes I pointed out had to be part of the bigger picture. and now they're doing something that would defy all of that. It seems like a mistake. But I did say I was of two minds about this. As I have thought about it, I wonder if perhaps there's a bit of commentary going on here. You know, Tartakovsky told the story he wanted to tell with Primal, obviously. And he specifically told Spear's story from its beginning, as far as what's relevant, all the way to the end. But his plan after that was to make a different series, Unicorn, for which he had like multiple seasons planned out. But then the first season came along, and short version, it did not work out. The first season is the only season. Nobody really cared about Unicorn, and it all just that plan just kind of evaporated. So now what's he supposed to do? Obviously, Primal still could be revived, but I'm sure that the conversation probably went a little something like this. You had the network representatives call up and say, all right, we would like you to make a third season of Primal. And Gendy's like, well, yeah, I really want to do something so a third season of Primal can work. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Everybody's really excited to see what Spear does next. Spear's dead. Well, can you bring him back? No, you don't understand. He's dead. We can bring in new characters, but we can't bring Spear back if we killed him off. But if we don't bring back Spear, the audience will be confused because everybody here thinks that the audience is just full of idiots. So find a way to bring him back. It's a cartoon. You can do anything. But he's dead. Hello? Well, great. Now what am I supposed to do? I mean, I can't prove that's how the conversation went, but knowing the kind of stories I've heard come out of Hollywood, is it really that hard to believe? So a part of me wonders if perhaps bringing Spear back as a zombie, not just bringing him back to life all normal, but specifically making him a shambling corpse, is sort of its own meta commentary about how the show itself is continuing unnaturally because that's the way the executives wanted it to be. And the show is somehow going to play out with that commentary in mind. Now, if that's correct, and I don't know if it is, but if it's correct, that would mean that Primal Season 3 is going to be a deliberate act of sabotage, and, well, anyone who followed Rurouni Kenshin knows how that goes. But that really is the only way I can rationalize how this decision was made. And I'm also noticing a distinct lack of dinosaurs in the trailer. I mean, there are some dinosaurs and dinosaur-adjacent creatures and Ice Age mammals on display, but for the most part, the focus seems to be on monsters, including our protagonists. So again, that's sort of going against the original series. Not that there weren't monsters in the first two seasons of Primal, but they were the anomalies. Now their numbers are being increased from the looks of it. I don't know, folks. Primal's third season might... Well, I don't know at this point. The trailer's very short. It doesn't show us that much, but everything we've seen and heard up to this point, it makes me wonder how it's going to go. I'm bracing myself for something not quite on the same level as what we already got. I mean, let's face it, even the second season wasn't really on the same level as the first season. The first season was amazing. Second season, still great animation, great TV. It did have some more noticeable problems, though. Then again, season 1 was a tough act to follow. Well, we'll find out soon enough, but I'm just saying, brace yourselves. If you were a fan of the original 2 seasons of Primal, brace yourselves, because this could go very wrong, and that might be by design. Well, when it comes along, we'll see what happens. I am the Omni viewer, and there you have it.